Rugby, a game played by two teams of 15 players each on a rectangular field 110 yards long with goal lines and goal posts at either end. The object being to run with an oval ball across the opponent's goal line or kick it through the upper portion of the goal posts, with forward passing and timeouts not permitted. Rugby in America is small, but becoming increasingly popular. Some of the best competition in American rugby is at the club level and in Southern California. The Back Bay Rugby Football Club is one of those clubs, and it has a long history with Orange County and rugby in Southern California.
It's the joining of two clubs, Irvine Coast, which was a first division Southern California club, and Newport Beach Rugby Club. I played all the way from '75 and through the World Cup, and the first World Cup in rugby was in 1987. So I was lucky enough I was captain of the U.S. team at that time. And I started out with Irvine Coast, and it was more of a social team with a good administration, organization, and the Newport Beach had some really talented athletes that had played football at Cal and UCLA and so on. So we thought both clubs kind of struggled in the middle of the pack. We thought maybe joining them together would have a good administration and a good athletic club. And so it was that, and we just picked the name, kind of the joining of the two communities, Back Bay at that time. And we had a clipper ship at that time, which was our sort of our moniker. And so that's a bunch of us, and two or three guys from their club and two or three of us from Irvine Coast kind of pulled it out of a bag or something. I don't know how we came up with it, but that was our decision to join the two clubs.
Currently, Back Bay is a part of the Southern California Rugby Union's Division I League, which is one of the toughest leagues in the state and the country as a whole.
Well, Division I is very tough. So we've actually went up to Division I 2 years ago. And prior to Division I, we were in Division II, and we won Southern California. Back Bay won Southern California. We went undefeated, which was 10-0, and then we went to playoffs, and we lost in the semifinals. So because we won in Division II, they automatically bumped us up to Division I. Division I this year has been an increase in games. So we went from playing 7 games to 14 games. So just the competition alone has been tough, but now they doubled the length and schedule.
You know, teams like Ombak and Belmont Shore and, Irvine Coast in the old days, Santa Monica, they've always been at the top of even the U.S. competition. So I think because we're lucky our season, like in the Midwest, on the East Coast, they run a split season. They have to stop in the middle, and so obviously the weather has something to do with the level of rugby out here, and a lot of good athletes. So Southern California it's always been at the top. The two California areas have dominated club rugby: Northern California with the old Blues and those teams, and then Southern California. So it's one of the strongest competitions in the country.
All of Back Bay's home games are played at their pitch, known as A Street, which is located in Newport Beach at Peninsula Park, a unique spot that is the envy of many.
We have the best pitch in the United States, and we get players from all over the world that come here and enjoy our club and enjoy our entertainment, enjoy the social life, and we play good top-level, top-notch rugby.
A guy, John Abbott, that's still involved with the club, was kind of instrumental, and he became friendly with, we were just trying to get fields. You know how rugby is, it's difficult to get a field anywhere. We had some just touch tournaments, and we got kind of chummy with some of the recreation people in the city of Newport Beach. And the nice thing about it was they didn't want it to be a soccer field or a dedicated baseball field or anything. They wanted it to be park, for unusual activities and different activities that would make Newport Beach unique. So obviously rugby fit in. We convinced them, and they saw that rugby might fit into that idea. And plus, we had a lot of overseas teams. In those days, there was a lot of touring. So teams from England and Wales and New Zealand and Australia would come over, and they loved to play at A Street on the beach. So, and that fit into what the city saw as the kind of park that they wanted to have. So we developed that relationship probably 25 years ago, whatever, and it's just, and we've behaved well enough and maintained the kind of atmosphere there. So it's been a great, and people talk about it. You go to other places in the world, and if they've played rugby and come to Newport, they remember the field. It's pretty special.
Before getting on the pitch for matches, the team gathers twice a week for training at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Costa Mesa.
Training is, structured training is twice a week, ideally an hour and a half. Sometimes it pushes to 2 hours, depending on what our need is for that time of year, or this coming Saturday, or how we perceive the players' physical response or mental response at the time. And if we don't have a fixture on Saturday, we have a Saturday training.
Practice is only half the battle though, as at the end of each week there is the all-important match. Every game is a battle, a tug of war of sorts. Timing is important, but so is the skill and determination. With the competition high, the fight is always tough. Playing for Back Bay, or rugby in general, isn't entirely all about the competition though.
After the game, wherever you're at, if it's we're the home team or we're going to another team, they host a party for us. They host, it's called an aftermath social. Get a keg of beer, get food, and just everyone mingles and you just have a great time. And sometimes people take it to the limit and do some, things that you don't want to really necessarily talk about, but it's just a good interaction, and that's the thing that differs rugby from American football or soccer or baseball. It's just the two teams never interact after the game, and that's what makes this a gentleman's sport.
The way I view the sport is a little larger than the athletic part of it. For me, it's been something that I've really enjoyed as an athlete, but it's also got me through some really tough times in life. So my outlook on it is everybody should be involved in a sport that has the passion similar to rugby.
With Back Bay's history, its level of play, and its social environment, it's no wonder the club has been around for the last 25 years.